Alright, folks, excitement's in the air once again as we delve deep into Ultima Exodus. We're currently in the town of Gray. We've been warned, don't disturb the peace of the town. Okay, you can fly far away using the moon gates. That is a true fact. Okay, that's something, although I think that's in the manual. They actually tell you in the manual of the existence of the moon gates. Alright, tell me about the king if you've come from the castle. See, it's a bunch of people telling us or asking us to do things that we can't do. That's a grocer's shop, in case you're wondering why and spending time on it. You might think this is going to be some secret area because it's between the two shops and it's dark, but there's absolutely nothing there for you. So sorry to disappoint you. So anyway, alright, hello. I am Catherine. I cannot speak English well. You seem to be doing pretty well there, unless that's all you memorize is how to speak. Have you heard of the Massacre? Yes. It protects you from evil. What if we said no? You can find clues at dawn. So that's moderately helpful. It's like a second-hand help. Weapon shop. What do we got going at the weapon shop? Same thing. Same crap, different bun. Armory? You got the full boat there. Not that you'd want to actually buy any of it. So yeah, the game does have a bit of flicker, but you know, that's kind of excusable. This is a Nintendo game. You're going to have flicker in a Nintendo game. So let's see. Let's keep up the good clues that I'm going to get from these people, right? You talk to many girls, don't you? Yeah. Drinking is my life. Leave me alone. Well, that's kind of sad, isn't it?
If not his life, fight him.
No, I don't want to fight him because the guards will come and kill me. Plus, why would I want to fight him? He's just a poor alcoholic. When you use the tent when you're retired. You can buy a tent at that shop. So yeah, you can buy tents.
Fighting.
Oh, but he's fighting. Anyway, better bring many torches. That's good advice. So that's somewhat a useful thing. So anyway, this is the guild shop. So if you take a look at what's for sale here, you can see some of these. So 5 torches for 30. That's not a bad deal. There's magic also that can illuminate, but there's no reason to use it because magic can be extremely limited. But 30 gold is not very much. Magic keys unlock magic doors, which is every door, and they don't stay unlocked. So if you unlock it, you leave and you come back, guess what? Door is not unlocked. Gemstone, this is pretty useful because it shows you kind of a bird's eye view, a mapological view, you might say, of the dungeon you're in. Sands, the sands of time, you know, like sands through the hourglass, and so are the days of our lives. So that's a pretty good deal right there. It stops time. And stopping time is highly useful, especially when you're trying to get away from a town where you're about to get murdered by a bunch of guards. We'll need them later. And a tent, which, you know, that recharges your health. I'm not sure by how much. Just kind of walking around will get your health back. Using heal spells will get your health back. And that's about it. Ways to get your health back in this game. I mean, oh, look at this. At the casino, you should gamble. But you don't want to gamble with me. You want to play 21? I got 22. Anyway, so this is basically paper, rock, scissors you play. I'm not going to do it. I don't believe in gambling. Not really morally that I don't believe in gambling. I just don't like to lose. And if you gamble, just like Jake the Snake said, you must accept losing. And you don't want to gamble with him because he cheats. Was also hilariously drunk during that interview, although hilarious or sad depending on how you want to look at it. So not too many clues. We got a clue to a clue. They said you want to find that mystic armor? Find clues in Dawn. Okay. So this is one of the few places they have the guild, which that's the item shop you saw. That's short for Thieves Guild. So you can see why it would be a limited place around. It even says in the instruction manual that these guilds are somewhat rare because they've been ran on time. I turned the music a little bit because, you know, we got to be hearing these slamming tunes. You know, you might be like, why aren't you skipping these fights? Well, it gives me a chance to kind of just you know, kind of rap with you here about what's going on in the game. Yeah, Flame is a good spell, but you only get to use it once pretty much per battle because it takes 20 hit points. Like I said, we are weak as kittens right now as far as our ability to cause major damage. So there's this cool area. When I was a kid, I thought these were tents. They look like tents. They look like there's some big camp here, right? Right, let me think. There's an entrance inside this mountain range and will lead us to a town that is of completely limited use to us at this point and will be for most of the game. But you can spend pretty much all day messing around trying to find something to do. So yeah, you could pretty much waste all day looking around that town and end up dying because it's filled with lava pits. And the lava pits will kill you. It's not just like you get 1 damage per time you step on them. I mean, it does serious damage until you get the Mark of Fire. Now, I'm sure the game tells you that somewhere at some time, but not very often. I'm trying to figure out what the heck I am from a mapiological point of view. So anyway, as we continue further afield here, we're going to go visit the next towns. There's Montor East and Montor West. They're not very interesting. They're just as interesting as this one. Although one of them looks quite interesting because there's a place that is blocked by guards. I'm going to have this guy do it because poor James here, he needs some experience points. Small time. So anyway. Yeah, sorry if there's any feedback in background. My youngest is playing with walkie-talkies, but he's holding both of them in his hand. So he's pretty much just really succeeding in causing a lot of feedback. Like I said, I hope it's not audible, but it might be. Alright, I'm going to fry this guy with a little magic hocus pocus. And no, I'm not. I'm not actually going to do anything. I'm going to try to use repel and it's not going to work. So here's a situation where we could actually take some damage. If I miss both of these, let me try to use missile. Because they can, it's unfair, but the game, see, look at that. Game can hit you sideways. You can't hit the game sideways. Only they can, which is completely, you know, I'm pretty angry about it. I guess I should write Richard Gary out about it and let him know, you know, that this game made in 1983 and then ported over in 1988. Just not up to snuff. For these battle situations. I'm trying to figure out where the heck I am so I get to Yew. Ah, Yew's right there. Okay, excellent. Yew is one of those few towns in this game that makes an appearance after the Age of Chaos or the Age of Destruction. I can't remember. But the first 3 are the Age of something where bad things happen, and the next 3 are the Age of Enlightenment, where we have the Avatar and he delves more into the morality system that he creates. I guess he kind of creates it. I mean, and you guys can correct me if I got the lore wrong here, but at least from what I know, the Codex of Ultimate Wisdom exists. You have to go to it. It always existed. So his... Jeez Louises, you guys missing everybody, huh? Or it's just not affecting this goof right here. But that's okay. Finally, jeez Louises. Just don't want to pass up all this cash money just laying on the table for me. So yeah, things are going along. As you can tell, you know, this lockdown has definitely given me a chance to catch up on my Ultima. I played through 3, 4, and 5 in the past couple of months, which I never had really the patience, especially with this one, because it's just so obtuse. I think it makes what's his name? Gosh darn it. Get him. Da! Bah! 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 As you can see, my health increased there, which is pretty sweet. Get him. There we go. So, I mean, it makes Simon's Quest seem like, you know, a very transparent, easy... Ah, gosh, no, we won't get any money for this. That's fine. There's only 3 of these chumps, and I'm going to take them out. But anyway, yeah, so this game makes Simon's Quest look very clear and linear. You know, but like I said, I think it was a side effect of how they're trying to make it an open world. But they really should have done better with the dialogue. Okay, so here's Yew. It's inside this ridiculous thing here. So you think you're onto something special. This whole town is encased in this thick forest. Yew is a nice town surrounded by forest. There's no town to it, really, hardly. Like, this is like one of the only clearings, so. The town of Yew is in the forest. It may be hard to find you the first time. Okay, so I gotta be careful here. Actually, I'm going the northerly direction here. Because the southerly direction, and I could probably use a gem here. Ah, yeah, but see, there's a building here. The southerly direction will lead you to destruction. Ah, and these guys will just wander off, too. The food is good here. Is it? Okay, so that's your grocery. I'm hard of hearing. Sorry. Okay, very nice. Thanks for that incisive commentary on how things are going. But yeah, I certainly did find 4 more enjoyable than 3, and I thought it had a really good idea there as far as, you know, the avatar, you know, becoming the avatar, becoming, you know, whoa, where it was completely non-linear like that. There's another town in the mountains south of here. There is. Okay, that's good information. But the only way you can get to Devil Guard is to do something. I can't remember what it was. Oh, you got to use the moon gates. And I've never actually done that before, so we will do that. So don't worry about it. Aha! So here's the place where you go if you're looking to die real quick. Welcome to the Circle of Light. So we got the Circle of Light here, and these guys just stand around with this lava right here. And you have to watch your step, because like I said, you walk through that stuff, you are going to regret it pretty instantly. Yep. But the lady there has no problem. So talking to him will eventually net you the prayer command, which you need somewhere. I can't remember exactly where you use it. But you will need it. I think at the Circle of Light. Oh, no. You'll need it to get the magic cards. And I don't mean Magic the Gathering cards, nerds. Anyway, I can't believe it's still around. I remember when I was in high school, which will tell you that was a very, very long time ago. There was this kid in school. We used to play RPGs together and things like that. Never played Ultima together. We were too old by then. It was more like Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy 2, and Final Fantasy 3. Actually, I'd like to take credit for getting him into Final Fantasy because we played through Final Fantasy 2, of course, Final Fantasy 4 together. I'm sure he would have got into it anyway. He was, you know, the kind of type who would like it. And I know that sounds like I'm looking down upon him, but it's actually not too much. Just that, you know, before Final Fantasy games were actually popular, and I don't want to sound hipster here. Let's see if you can kill him with a missile. Yeah, 'cause sometimes you can kill him with missiles. Sometimes you can't. But, you know, before they were cool, you know, because Final Fantasy VII really popularized the genre. I don't know, you know, how good that was. Well, it was real good for Squaresoft anyway. No good for Nintendo. Felt bad for poor Nintendo. I'd always been a Nintendo man, and I, you know, I actually didn't play Final Fantasy VII until long after. Probably, I don't know, 15 years after it came out. Because by then I was getting older. I didn't have time for. Well, I did have time, but I imagined I didn't have time. I'd rather be chasing girls. Let's just say that. And I was an old dog. I didn't want to learn new tricks back then. So there you go. All right, I'm gonna let Zuli get all the experience here because she could use it. Because Mom is hogging it, just hogging it. So anyway, so I never got into it. I don't know. I played through it, you know, way later as an adult, and I liked it. It was I felt very emotional. For now, when Aerith died as much, that was more. I got sad when the woman was waiting for her husband to return home from the war on the train, and he never did. I found that very touching. You know what I mean? I just found that scene very touching when she's waiting for her husband to come home from a war, and he's not gonna come home because he's died in it. You know, I thought that was really. That got me. That loosened me up sinus-wise. I mean, I didn't start bawling or anything, but I definitely felt that, you know, that heavy feeling in the back of your nose when the waterworks are coming. So I found that very sad. It was very beautiful. You know, there was some kind of weird stuff. I mean, obviously the where you dress up like a woman to win the affections of, was it Don Cuneo, Corneo? I'm not sure. That's kind of messed up, but I mean, they want to go in a more mature direction. But you know, a lot of times you say in a more mature direction, is that really mature, or is that just kind of like, is that just basically appealing to, what's the word for it? Horny teenagers who, not, I wouldn't say horny, because I don't think a lot of people found that enticing, although it did have a brothel in it. But I think just like kind of lowest common denominator, like, hey, look at this, it's racy, get in on it, it's edgy. Your parents would be unhappy with you for playing this, you know. And I don't really think, I wouldn't really say that doesn't scream mature to me, you know. When I think mature, I think, you know, kind of like this game in a way, because you've got to be of a certain age to get anywhere in this darn game, because it's just so obtuse and so difficult to really think of, and you know, those amounts of gold just seem so ridiculous. But now as an adult, I kind of, you know, we look at things differently, I think. I think most adults do, you know, to where like an hour or two to work out a day is like not an incredible burden. It's something that's necessary to be done. And so, for example, you know, in the same vein, gosh darn it, they're monging me. It's not nice, guys. So in the same vein, in this game, you know, farming gold or grinding for gold or whatever seems like an impossible task. But if you really look at it, you can get gold pretty quickly, especially here in the early stage where all battles are pretty much just, you know? I mean, all these enemies are susceptible to these completely weak-kneed magic spells that cost nothing. And so you can amass a fortune very quickly. But that fortune could be completely wasted if you use it for, what was I going to say? If you use it for, lame. You never want to open these things straight up, because they are almost always trapped. Not almost always, but they are often trapped. They're often trapped such as to make such an exercise unprofitable for you. So this is Montor West. Hello, who are you? Kind of a weird thing to ask. Like, you ask everybody that when they come through the gate? I mean, it's like border control. I don't know. I'm sure there's stuff about, you know, one world government or something in there for any of you conspiracy nuts. Hopefully you're not watching this because, well, I guess, you know, if you want to watch this, that's fine. You may be busy fighting against Exodus, but remember to go to the prison. Yeah, but it doesn't really... Does somebody... Okay, Montor West, yep. So, yeah, they've got these... These are supposed to be like guard towers, but probably didn't have the graphical prowess. Grandpa is dead. See, look at these frickin'... What's the purpose? I mean, okay, it's a little text to show you this is a live world. There are people who live here. Well, and in Grandpa's case, there's people who don't live here anymore. But I mean, is it really necessary, or is that just kind of a waste, you know? Anyway, Montor West, of course, would not survive into the later games for whatever reason. There was an explanation I read. I thought that was kind of neat to be like, hey, what happened to all these towns? I mean, you know, we got Skara Brae and we got all these other places, so you can see another guard tower there, which is kind of nice. Let's see, what do we got here? We got Barman. Do you know who I am? No. I made Ultima. Do you know who I am? Believe it or not, I am Richard Garriott. Are you? Well, okay, you can't ask it. So that's great that he put himself in the game. Maybe he could make himself a little more helpful. I like you. You are my friend. Like, really, was that necessary? Is this necessary things? Wow, look at that money. Yeah, I'm going to buy some more food here real quick. And yeah, you know what? I can't complain too much. If you know the system, it's not too bad. And you can, you know, pool gold, which you'd want to do usually. Anyway, I just don't want to run out of food these days as we're doing these, like, skulking around. Nah. Anyway, yeah, it's one way you can get some info. I'm not sure the info is that good. I think I've read it. It's not. The Gypsy's Gem is useful. See, it would have been real easy for the designers to say why it's useful, you know? But they don't favor us with such frivolities, you know? And I don't know if the the Nintendo official manual that came with it really goes into it. So anyway, as we continue forth in this goofy place. So, okay, so here's the weapon and arms, the arms dealers. That makes them sound pretty bad. Armor, and whatever. Yep, same crap, different button. So I don't know why they bothered having all these armor shops. They're going to sell the same darn thing anyway. Seems like kind of a waste. They could use some NPCs that are useful or whatever, people's houses. Because, yeah, the looks of it, nobody actually has a house in this world. Like, I know that we get really, really exact with this, in that in Ultima 5, from what I've heard, there is a bed for every person in the game. So, you know that, like, I haven't talked to everybody yet, because this dude only comes out at night. So this is the prison here. Hey, you, get out of here. Now, you can get through there, obviously you have to... Well, no, actually, you don't bust him up, you bribe him to get in. And then somebody's supposed to give you some good information. I don't know how good it really is, to be honest with you. And that's the town. That's all the... So what did we learn from this town? Well, Richard Garriott lives here. We learned that. That's about it. Let's look at our experience now. How are we doing? Okay, we're getting people caught up a little. Making it a little more even. Got a little bit more money. Which is not all that necessary. But to power everybody up, we'll take an obscene amount of gold. Something like 80,000. So, but once you get high enough to get powerful enough, getting to that place, and I'll show you, there's a place where you can farm gold pretty easily, and it isn't with combat. I can tell you that. There's a cave where the first floor has a rather expansive treasure room. That's okay, but you can do a lot better than that, I can tell you that much. There is a town in this game that has a very large treasure room, and you can loot it repeatedly. Just repeatedly. Like, and I think that's something I read about that Richard Garriott did take some flack for, is the fact that he made his game so immoral, or not immoral, amoral. Not necessarily immoral, it's just your bad deeds don't get punished. Well, they can get punished, okay? You try to steal stuff or you attack a townsperson, yes, the guards will come at you. But you face no moral consequences other than they'll attack you. But if you make it out of the town, when you come back the next time, everybody has forgotten the way you looted the town and slaughtered a few guards. You know, that's all been forgiven. Forgiven or forgotten. Yeah, I would say forgotten would be the better term. It's not necessarily that anybody says, hey, you did that, just don't do it again. Everybody just acts like it never happened. Which, yeah, like he caught some, from what I've read, he caught some flack over that, and that's one of the reasons he made Quest of the Avatar the way it is, to where you are punished for it, although you can always make up for it. Like, even if you're a total turd, and they say you'll never become the Avatar, if you do a few positive acts a few times, you know, as in giving money to beggars, giving blood, you know, and the like, well, you're in good shape. You've pretty much made up for your prior misdeeds. Oh, that's funny. That monster just kind of got out of town. Cool. All right. Well, I think that's enough. Here's Montor East. It's also not very interesting, but we're gonna go ahead and look right through this sucker, and I think that'll be it for the initial towns on this side of the world. And then after that, the next step really is to go ahead and kind of start getting suited up, you know, for the war on high prices. So anyway, I thank you very much for watching, and have a good day. Bye-bye.